Whoa, IABC, Edmonton and Digital Alberta, good morning! Oh my God, Kyle, kill the music, holy cow. This is a mind-blowing audience, this is incredible. You know, we can't let this go to waste. Okay, I need you guys to help me out here. If all of you could just stand up, right where you are, please. Just stand up right where you are. Awesome. Dude, you gotta be a part of this. All right, this is amazing. Okay, those of you born on even-numbered months, like February or June, if you could just stand there and put your hands like that. Awesome, amazing. Those of you born on odd-number months, if you could take your hands and just put them like that. Oh my God, this is amazing. Hold on. Okay, hold on. Amazing, thank you so much. You can all sit down. I'm just going to open Hootsuite, my social media management tool of choice. Hold on. IABC, Edmonton and Digital Alberta. Thank you for the awesome standing ovation. Come on, you guys didn't think everything on social media was real, did you? I mean, come on, like the President of the United States can say anything he wants. I think that kind of opens the floodgates for everybody, doesn't it? The problem is for you guys, because you guys as an industry, as an association, as individuals, have what I like to refer to as professional standards, ethics, personal values, and the belief that authenticity trumps everything, which can make things pretty challenging when you're trying to compete against Donald Trump or Kim Kardashian or really anybody posting anything from pictures of their kids to what they had for lunch. And the problem is that, for the most part, you guys as an industry are creating messages and content to encourage dialogue, to bring in business, to create awareness. Most of the people outside of this room are using social media for purely selfish reasons. Purely selfish reasons? What is this guy talking about? Let me explain. Think about the last time you were out with friends or family for purely social, no work-related things. Could have been a house party, a restaurant, a bar, a club, anywhere where you were just gathered with friends and family, people you loved, and you were just having a great time. And of course, what do you do when you get together with friends outside of drinking? You tell stories, right? And there's always that story that everybody laughs at. It's not just a funny story, it's a hysterical story. This is the kind of story that when you hear and everyone's telling it, you can't control yourself. Have you ever been laughed that hard that your organs start to shut down? That your brain is about to explode out of your head? You can't breathe, you can barely sit on your chair, and in some cases you may have accidentally peed yourself a little bit. We've all been there, trust me, we've all been there. So afterwards, at the end of the story, you're totally sweating, you're just a wreck, you wipe the tears from your eyes, and how do you feel? You feel amazing. I can tell you, if you ever want to ask somebody for money, this is the time to do it. Because there is nothing you will say no to at this state. Why is that? Because your body has essentially turned into a giant meth lab. You have dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin, and endorphins pumping through your nervous system, your bloodstream, and your brain. And it feels absolutely amazing. Right? It does. Really good. We as a species, we are born to become drug addicts. We love the hit that these chemicals give us, which is why so many of us do things like bungee jumping, or exercising, or playing music, or anything we can do that makes us feel good to get that hit, to get those 4 chemicals released in our body. And then comes social media. And the original plan of social media, I believe, was to allow that experience that we had face-to-face when we were out with friends and family, and to continue that journey into the online world. But I think something went awry a little bit. I believe that social media, in some ways, didn't allow that journey to continue. It perhaps replaced that part of the journey where we were face-to-face. Think about it. How many of us now communicate through Facebook or Snapchat or Instagram? It's way easier, more convenient, and you don't have to worry about what to wear. We can communicate with potentially hundreds or thousands of people in our pajamas, standing at the kitchen counter on a Tuesday night eating cold Chinese food. I'm not speaking from experience, of course, but you know what I'm saying. So we're all sharing this kind of stuff on social media. And what happens when you post something on social media? Anything at all. Do you find yourself checking back to see how many likes you got? How many comments you got? How many shares? Maybe some new friends, new followers, new subscribers? You know what happens when you see those little thumbs? You get that hit. It feels good to know that somebody who you may not even know has given you the thumbs up. And all they had to do was this. Doesn't seem to mean much, does it? But you know, we get those little likes, we get those comments. We'll post something like us at a restaurant. And you'll get comments, oh my God, it looks amazing, I wish I was there. Oh, hope you're having a great time. Boy, it makes us feel good because we're there and they're not. It makes us feel special. We get that hit. The problem is with social media is the hit is not as intense as it is when we're out face to face. When we're in a situation like this, all these people, all the energy in this room, that hit is through the roof. We're loving it. We're feeling good. But when you're alone, typing on your smartphone and getting back those responses, it's not the same. So what do? We post more stuff because we need that hit. We've become addicts. We post everything we're doing, who we're with, where we go, and when we run out of stuff to talk about with regards to ourselves, we turn to our kids. How many people here have friends who post stuff about their kids? Little Billy just won the hockey tournament. Little Susie just won her dance competition. Here's the thing. Little Susie and little Billy, they aren't going to see those likes. The parents aren't posting them for the kids. They're posting them for themselves. They've become that desperate that they're using their kids as leverage to help them get that hit. Is that sad or what? Well, then you get companies kind of stepping into that social media realm. And they see all these people talking and sharing and feeling good, even though it may not be authentic, it might not be that intense, but they're seeing it. And they're like, wow, right pickings. There's a lot of customers there. Hundreds of millions, perhaps billions of customers. So they dive in and they try to be social. Which brings me to a question I want to pose to all of you. And the question is this. Can businesses be social? Can businesses be social? Now, I see some heads nodding. I see some heads shaking. And I see a lot of you absolutely still. Well, the truth is, there's no wrong answer. But I believe that the answer that you give is a reflection of how you view the interactivity between companies and people on social media. Now, in the spirit of full disclosure, I want you to know that if you leave here today after our time together and believe that you are doing absolutely everything perfect with regards to how you, your organization, your clients, your employers, with how you're managing your social media, then I've done my job. On the flip side, if you leave here today saying, you know what, maybe we need to re-examine how we're doing things. Maybe we need to introduce some new ideas and new concepts. Then I've also done my job. So back to my question, can businesses be social? I want to share with you a very quick story. Last year, my wife and I and our 2 kids, we moved into a new home in the middle of a cul-de-sac. For those of you who may not know, a cul-de-sac is kind of a rounded end of a street. There's usually around 7 or 8 homes, and we moved into the middle home. And when people found out that we were moving into a cul-de-sac, they all said, oh, it's like a little tiny community unto itself because all the houses sort of face each other. That's kind of cool. So we move in on a Friday. Big truck pulls up, and we're taking out the furniture and the boxes and everything else, and we're spending all day unpacking and putting things away. Anyone who's moved, you know it is just not fun. Around dinner time that day, there's a knock at the door. We go over, we open the door. Who's on the porch? There's a woman standing on the porch holding a giant fruit bouquet. You know those giant fruit bouquets, right? They're awesome. And she introduces herself as Tracy. And Tracy lives on the right side of our house. She's our neighbor. She tells us about her family, asks us about our family, and says if there's anything at all we need, just to ask. And then she presents us with the fruit bouquet. How cool is that? Who does that stuff anymore? I'm loving this neighborhood. The next day, Saturday, we're continuing putting things away, unpacking boxes. Around mid-afternoon, there's another knock at the door. So we go back and we open the door again. And who's there? Another woman holding a little white box. And this woman introduces herself as Andrea. And Andrea lives on the left side of our house. And Andrea tells us about her family, asks us about ours, tells us a little about the neighborhood, and says if there's anything at all we need, just to ask. And then she presents us with the little box. We take the box inside to the counter and put it beside the half-eaten fruit bouquet we got yesterday. And we open it up, and inside is a selection of brownies, different kinds of brownies. Needless to say, my kids are way more excited about this box than the fruit bouquet. Also with the brownies is a white envelope. And we take out the envelope, and inside is a coupon for 20% off our next order from the bake shop that made the brownies. Okay? Also inside the envelope is a business card from the place that made the brownies. Whose name do you think is on the business card? Not Tracy's. Andrea's. Andrea's. Good guess. Had to be one or the other. Andrea's name is on the business card. Andrea is the owner of the bake shop that made the brownies. Now think about this. You have Tracy who came and presented us with a fruit bouquet, and that was it. The next day we get Andrea who comes by, presents us with the brownies, and with that, a financial incentive for us to continue the relationship with her as supplier and customer. Which one of these women was being social, keeping in mind the motivating factor for us to be social is to get that chemical hit, to get those 4 chemicals pumping through our bodies. Because it makes us feel so good, doesn't it? It makes us feel good to not only get, but also to give. So which one of these women do you think were being social? Both? Okay, how about this? That's a very good answer. It could be argued that Tracy presented us the fruit bouquet for no other reason than just to be kind. Whereas Andrea perhaps presented it as an incentive for her to get another customer. So maybe the answer to can businesses be social isn't yes or no. Maybe it's that, well, businesses perhaps can't be social in the pure sense. They can be sociable. They can be sociable. They can be caring. They can be interested. They can be approachable. They can be friendly. They can be sociable. But they're motivated by different things. Because let's keep in mind, businesses don't have feelings. Businesses are entities. Businesses don't have endorphins and serotonin. The job of a business is to create a profit. Both those businesses that succeed do well, and those businesses that don't do poorly. Now the problem is, over time, that line between social and sociable, it's gotten kind of blurred because companies would like to present themselves as being social. And for us as consumers, it kind of gets a little confusing at times. Every year, Bell Canada introduces this campaign, Let's Talk. And in this campaign, they bring to light mental health issues. They try to remove the stigma of people talking about mental health issues, which is an absolutely fantastic cause. Fantastic cause. But here's the thing. Does Bell Canada care about mental issues? I mean, Bell Canada is a company. Can companies really care about anything? Or could it be that Bell Canada is saying to themselves, in some big room with the marketing department, we're saying, you know what, if we support this cause, we will present ourselves as being relatable. And perhaps the goal is to have people who are currently with Bell, who are paying what they might believe to be far too much money every month, to say, well, you know, I'm being hosed for cable or internet access or cell phone, but you know what? It's a good company. I feel comfortable about it because they support causes like this. And perhaps those who don't use Bell would say, you know what, maybe I'm going to move from my current supplier and move to Bell because of what they do. Could it be then that if Bell no longer felt that this cause was worthy, that it was accomplishing the goal of bringing in new business, they might drop it? Only time will tell. Right here in Edmonton, you have the Edmonton Marathon, a fantastic event that brings in thousands of people from all over the country, raises thousands of dollars for worthy charities, and one of the chief sponsors is the Running Room. Now, I've had a chance to explore this beautiful city, and I know for a fact there are 3 running rooms in this city. My question to you is this: if there were no running rooms in Edmonton, would the Running Room still sponsor this event, as worthy an event as it is? It wouldn't make much sense, would it? If you were the head marketer for the Running Room, would you sponsor an event where people could look at a picture like this and say, wow, you know, the Running Room is the kind of company that I want to be a part of because I like what they support? And then you realize that you can't buy anything from them because they're not here. It doesn't make any sense. Are they being social? I don't know. Are they being sociable? Quite possibly. Now, the problem, too, is a lot of companies, they try to be more social, like really social. And in most cases, they screw up because, like I said, companies can't be social. So last year, for International Women's Day, and if I can be so bold for a moment, International Women's Day, can someone tell me why we have to wait once a year to honor the contributions of half the world's population? I don't know why there's a Women's Day. I think we should be thinking about this all the time. I don't know, what do you guys think? Shouldn't have to wait once a year? I think so. I think so. Yes. Yes, you should applaud for that. You should. So, Bic Pen. I had no idea Bic Pen was such a promoter of equality for women. I'm thinking, maybe I'm wrong, Bic Pen, women. Bic make pens? Maybe they think that women are all receptionists and use pens. I don't know. But whatever, they decide to do a shout out to all the women in the world for International Women's Day. So they send this out: look like a girl, act like a lady, think like a man. Think like a man? I got to tell you, and I think a lot of the guys in this room will agree with me, I think the world might be a better place if more men started thinking like women. I think that might be. Needless to say, they got torn to pieces for this. Why would they say this? It makes absolutely no sense. You have this big orgy of companies and people talking and sharing, and some of it's genuine and some of it's not, and the people are being motivated by wanting to get that chemical hit, and companies are being motivated by trying to bring in new business, and it's turned into a bit of a mess. And you have to wonder, why would people want to communicate with businesses in the first place? I don't know about you guys, if you're old enough to remember, but without divulging my age, when I was a kid, communicating with a company meant calling their toll-free 1-800 number and saying that the product didn't work very well, and the woman on the other end, who apparently was in customer service, would try to convince you that it was somehow your fault. Okay, that's what communicating with a company meant to me growing up. But now we try to have conversations with companies. In the Netherlands, the University of Twente, that's what it's called, the University of Twente, a world-famous university on the study of human communications and behavior, wanted to know why people would want to communicate with businesses, why they would want to talk to businesses, why they would want to talk about businesses, and why they would want to share their experiences about businesses. I mean, forget taking pictures of your lunch. Who wants to share ideas with IBM? So they came up with 4 reasons. 4 reasons they identified. And the first one, pretty clear, is venting. Right? You ever been to a restaurant and the service was either absolutely amazing, the food was outstanding, or it was the worst experience you ever had? You can't believe the place is open. You'd like to torch the place if you had the option. I'm sure we've all been to places like that. You leave the restaurant, and be it positive or negative, there's an energy burning inside you. You have to share your experience. You have to tell everyone you know how amazing this restaurant is or how awful it is. So you take out your phone, you take a picture of the restaurant, and you write whatever it is that you want to share. Venting, very straightforward. The second one is self-enhancement. This is the second reason they identified. Self-enhancement. I'm sure a lot of you here belong to Facebook groups or LinkedIn groups that are industry specific. Have you ever noticed that when someone poses a question, it's always the same 1 or 2 people who answer them? All the time? The group has like 500 people in it, and you see the same 3 or 4 people always commenting and posting and answering questions. Why are they doing this? because they want to build themselves up within the community as being an expert, as having inside information, as being the preeminent source for knowledge in their industry. For them, this is nothing more than a ladder. And social media is just another rung that they will climb in order to boost their self-enhancement. The third one is altruism. There's people out there, believe it or not, who do things simply because they're nice. These are the folks who will take a road trip to Disney, and when they get back home, they will write all about it, telling everyone the best places to eat, the best hotels to stay at, how to avoid standing in long lines, and they do it for no other reason than just to share, because they're kind and loving. And people like that make me crazy. I don't trust people that are just too nice. Is it me? I don't know. The fourth reason is social benefits. For a lot of people online, believe it or not, their online world is their world. They don't go out Saturday nights. They don't have much of a life. They come upstairs whenever their mom makes them a grilled cheese sandwich, and then they probably go back down. So the online world is it for them. This is the draw. So they join these community groups. This is their social life. They're conversing with people they will probably never meet. But it makes them feel good. Now here's what's really interesting if you look at these four things. Venting, self-enhancement, social benefits, whatever it is. When you post something about a company or with a company, these four things, the result is exactly the same as when you post a picture of what you did on vacation or a picture of your lunch. It's the same. When you go on Yelp and you write a review of a restaurant and then Yelp emails you and said 17 people liked your review, it feels the same way. When you answer a question that somebody's posted online and you get a bunch of likes, it feels the same way. So regardless of whether we're talking to businesses or talking to each other, we're still being motivated by the same thing. We still want those four wonderful chemicals, dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin, and endorphins, to be running through our bodies because we are naturally drug addicts. So now, you might be asking yourself, well, if you get people here being motivated by feelings, you get companies being motivated by clients, it's a big mess. Do we really want to be a part of this? Do we really want to do social media? Do we want to get in on this conversation? It's a tough question to answer. So what I've done is made it nice and easy, and I've created an acronym for you to help you decide if this is something you want to pursue. So the first one is for caring. Not only caring for you, but even caring for your clients or your consumers. Quick show of hands here. Who here has a dentist? If you have a dentist, everybody has a dentist. Okay, quick show of hands again. Who here is following their dentist on social media? Three people. Are you married to your dentist? What's that? She's a friend. So you're following her as a friend. Okay, doesn't count. So we're down to 2 people. Okay. Sorry? So again, it's social. So I think it's fair to say that the majority of us who family members and friends aren't dentists are not following our dentists. And I can tell you my wife is a dentist and I don't follow her on social media. Why? Because we just don't care. It's okay to say that. We really don't care what our dentist is doing at any point in time. But when do we care about our dentist? When our tooth hurts. And at which point do you think we're going on Twitter? Do you think we're going on Instagram taking a picture of that molar? No, we're picking up the phone and calling our dentist, and they damn well better answer and have an opening for tomorrow morning. Right? We don't care about them on social media. As businesses, you have to decide if you care. A friend of mine is an electrician. He doesn't even have business cards. He doesn't have a website. And I assure you, he's not on social media at all. He gives out his name to people he meets. He keeps it on his phone. And he'll text them his contact info. This is what he does. He's so busy he doesn't know what to do with himself. He doesn't care. He doesn't even have business cards. It's craziness. Next thing is resources. How many of you heard at some point in your career someone tell you, perhaps a social media expert tell you, that social media is amazing because it's free? It's free advertising, right? What a line. What a load of crock that is. I can tell you, since the day social media was created or it came to light, there has to be a human being creating content, posting all those photos and blogs and updates. Last I checked, nobody in this room works for free, although it might feel like it from time to time. But there's a person behind it, and that person has to get paid. It takes resources and time. That's not free. And now, Facebook and Instagram and Twitter's moving this way as well. They're changing their algorithms to minimize reach. At one time, if you had 1,000 likes on Facebook, there was a good chance if you posted something, almost all of them would see it. Now it's less than 2%. So if you're a business and you post something on Facebook or Instagram and you want people to see it, you better be prepared to pull out your checkbook. So when it comes down to resources, do you have the time, the money, and the desire to allocate them to creating Facebook posts or tweets? Next one is accessibility. People have to want to see it. And they're going to use social media on their terms. If you're going after the teen market, perhaps Instagram or Snapchat's the way to go. If you're going after an older market, maybe Facebook. It's amazing how many businesses use social media in a way that works for them, but not for the people they're trying to reach. It's absolutely essential that you understand the relationship, because it is about communication. And finally, performance. Why are you doing this? Big question is why. And a lot of businesses will say, well, everyone else is doing it, or we have to, or it's expected. Here's the thing. Everybody here, I would imagine, is operating in a slightly different business model, right? You all work for different companies and different groups. Why are you doing this? Is it to increase sales, build awareness? For those of you working for the art gallery, maybe it's just to get people to walk in through the front door. Maybe it's to get discussion. If you understand the why, then you'll better be able to allocate resources and decide if anyone cares. And accessibility, the first three will come into play if you understand why you're using social media at all. I'd like to share with you 5 ways to make social media work for you. Now, here's what's really cool. You can use one or all of these things. But one thing I encourage you to do is to take them and make them your own. Okay? This is not textbook stuff. All right? There's no right or wrong way. Take it and make it your own, because each and every one of you operate differently, and your association is different, your objectives are different. So I'm going to show you some examples, and I want you to do what works for you. So the first one is to check the ego at the door. And by that I mean so many companies are on social media because they believe that they are so absolutely popular that people want to talk to them. They want to know what's going on. They think they're awesome. They think everything they do is newsworthy. A client of mine is in the glamorous world of dental supplies. He sells dental supplies to dentists. Could you come up with something more boring than selling filling material and dental floss? He says to me, we need to be on Twitter. Why? Because everybody's on Twitter. We got to be on Twitter. Now, I have a lot of clients in the dental and medical industry, and I can tell you that they don't go on social media to decide where to buy bonding material and cotton balls. All right? They're going where the price is right. I said, no, I'm not going to take your money and waste my time doing this. So you know what clients do, right? When you tell them that, they go somewhere else and do it anyway. So this company decided to create their own Twitter page. And as you can see, they have a very healthy 249 followers and 640 people following. So not even everyone they're following is following them back. Now, because I don't have much of a life, I decided to find out who those 249 people were. So I went through the entire list of 249 people, and I managed to break it down into 5 different categories, because I want to know who is interested in dental supplies. So out of this, I found out that 105 people aren't even in the industry. He's being followed by 105 people who in no way, shape, or form need dental supplies. They may not even have teeth. But they're following him for whatever reason. He's got 14 bots. For those of you who may not know, a bot is simply a little tiny piece of software that will follow people randomly based on their tweets or social media activities, and sometimes it's used for data gathering, but most times it's used for spam. So he's got 10 bots following him. He's got 21 competitors, people who are just checking him out and seeing what's going on, see if they can give themselves the upper hand. And he's got 73 vendors, people who have no interest in buying from him but would be more than happy if he bought from them. They're following him as well. Customers? That leaves a whopping 36 customers. And I defined a customer as basically anyone who does dental services. So it could be a periodontist, a dentist, an orthodontist, whatever. Now, they may not actually be customers, but for whatever reason, they're following him. Now, here's what's really interesting. According to Twitter, only 5% of tweets ever actually get seen, just so you know. Okay, at this very moment, anyone with a Twitter account, at this very moment, tweets are coming through your stream and you are not seeing them because you're here. So they say 5% actually get seen, which leaves us with about 2 people. So chances are, when this company posts a tweet, there's a chance that up to 2 people who are potential or perhaps current customers see it. Now let me ask you this, you guys in the communication industry, would you do a campaign that gave you these numbers? Would your boss be happy if you told him you should do a campaign and allocate resources and you got these numbers? No. Now, some of you might be saying, oh, Mark, come on, that's a very niche industry. Come on, give us something a little more broad, a little more out there, right? Okay, very fair, very fair. How about McDonald's? Look at that, 70 million likes, double the population of Canada. That's pretty broad. Recently, McDonald's announced that they are going to start using fresh beef. Now, anyone who's into McDonald's knows this is big news. The place has always used frozen. But they've decided that they're going to start using fresh beef. All right, so all the people whose cholesterol levels are through the roof, this is amazing news. Now, McDonald's is likely on social media because they believe that they are so awesome. And with 70 million likes, that could probably support that theory. But here's what's interesting. When they posted something like this, which is a very positive thing, by the way, they got a whopping 378 likes out of 70 million. Would you call this a successful campaign? All right? Would you even turn on your computer to reach 0.00053% of your market? Would you get out of bed in the morning? No. But here's what I like. And McDonald's, we know many companies are polarizing. McDonald's is no different. My favorite one here is the problem has been your excuse for bread. It's more like a yoga mat. Sincerely, a customer who eats at McDonald's weekly and now no longer. My thinking is if you're eating at McDonald's weekly, the last thing you need to worry about is what the bread tastes like. I don't know. And I like this one too. Hold on, is this actual fresh beef made by a company called Fresh Beef? We'll have to investigate. So McDonald's is doing this because they believe that people want to hear it. But as we all know, social media is somewhat of a cesspool for hate and anger, isn't it? Not everybody's friends. I don't know why they call them friends. If you notice on Facebook, they're all friends, but half the time they're not very friendly. Second thing is, don't ask questions that you have no interest in knowing the answer to. Now, this is kind of social media 101 when it comes to engagement. Our engagement, boy, what a word, eh? Businesses are told, if you ask questions, you'll get dialogue going. People love that. They like to be asked questions. So, Esso. Now, hold on. I know I'm in oil country. All right? But, you know, we got to be fair to everybody. And just so you know, I have a speed pass. All right? There's an Esso not far from where I live. I fill up at Esso. All right? But Esso, a multinational oil conglomerate, is letting all of us know it's spring. And what spring activity are you looking forward to? Oh my God, it feels so warm. A multinational corporation wants to know what we're doing for spring. Is that nice? Oh, it's so nice. They care about us. So, who doesn't like to bag on an oil company, huh? You guys should find a solution to your gas pump pressure. Okay, obviously a Newfoundlander. Or someone who's so mad, they're calling it a gas pump. All right? Next one, if you quit, I love the slang. If you quit messing with gas prices. Oh yeah, Easter long weekend's coming, here they go again. So they asked this question. And these are the responses they got. Look, it'd be nice if we weren't being ripped off at the pumps. These are the answers they got. Do you see a response from Esso? Of course not. Now, in all fairness to Esso, and you guys being in the industry you're in, what would you tell Esso? Would you tell Esso to get into a shouting match with a guy who refers to it as gas pump? All right? You wouldn't. It would just be really bad news for Esso to try to get in there and explain why gas prices are the way they are or how gas pumps work. All right? They're not going to do it. That's fair. But what about these comments? I have 2 road trips planned to New Brunswick, 2 road trips planned to Newfoundland, road trip to Edmonton to visit the grandkids. Those are nice, aren't they? Those are nice responses, nice, heartfelt, honest responses. And where's the response from Esso? Where's the response from Esso saying, hey, that's great to hear. Make sure your tires are inflated. That's great to hear. The weather's great this time of year. There's no dialogue. Somebody at Esso was told, if you ask a question, you'll get engagement. Where I come from, it's kind of rude to ask a question, have the person answer it, and then you ignore them. I think that's rude for people, and I think it's just as rude for companies, if not more so, because they have the resources to answer those questions. Next one is to be there for them on their terms. Now you have to remember, social media is a personal thing, and we're all going to use it the way that works for us. A lot of companies forget this. A great example is Delta. Delta Airlines has this form on their Facebook page. With that, they also have their Twitter handle and their toll-free number. So if you're at the airport and things aren't going right, you can just go to this page and you have one of 3 ways to reach Delta very, very quickly. They've made themselves available on your terms, not on their terms. But what's crucial, though, is not just making yourself accessible, but timing. Timing in social media is everything, and this is where a lot of companies slip up. So imagine this, you're renting a car at Budget Rent-A-Car, and it's taken forever, and you post, it's taking longer to get our car than to fly to Charleston. And you're at the counter, and look at the date above that, March 29th. She's there standing in line. The next day, March 30th, Budget responds, we apologize for the delay yesterday. How's your rental going? Hey, we're friends, right? I responded. 24 hours. This woman's standing in line. She's probably got like 2 tired, screaming kids with her, a husband who's losing his mind, and there's no response. And then the next day, they have the audacity to say, how's your rental going? I'd write back and go, F you, Budget. I'm driving an Avis. You can't let it go. You got to be there because you have to remember, people are probably reaching out to you from that point. All right, when you're standing in line at the bank and there's 1 teller and 17 people in line, and you whip out your phone and say, no wonder TD offers free Wi-Fi. Banks shouldn't offer free Wi-Fi. Banks shouldn't offer coffee and cookies. What they should do is have more tellers. That would make sense. But that's a whole nother presentation. Right here in Edmonton, Shaw Communications. I love this. I love what they do. They have a Shaw Help Twitter account. And they go one step further. They actually identify who's manning the account. There's actual human beings that list their names and they sign off. And they let you know, yeah, we're here. Now, this is not a promotional page. This account is purely to answer questions. So when you post something to this Twitter page, you know that Tony or Matt or Eva could be responding to you. And they're there. They're actually sitting at a computer and will respond to you instantly. That is awesome. Hats off to Shaw for that. Another one is to encourage others to share on your behalf. As I mentioned, Facebook reach is less than 2%. But personal accounts, the reach is far greater. Far greater. If you have 500 friends on Facebook and you share something with them, there's a good chance almost all of them could see it. So, let them promote you. This is my friend Lorna. And Lorna had always been driving used cars. But then she finally saved up enough and decided that she was going to buy herself a brand new car. And she was so excited, she posted pictures of her with the car at the dealership, her with the salesperson. She said, I feel like a real grown-up now. And she got 113 likes and 26 comments. Can somebody here please tell me the name of the dealership? Can't. It's nowhere to be seen. What a waste for that dealership. If this dealership was smart, this is what they would have done. They would have created a staging area with like a banner on a wall with their hashtag or Facebook account or website, and it would have been all done up and branded, and the car would be sitting there. And the customer would come pick up the car and be sitting there all shiny in front of this branded backdrop. And the salesman would say, if you give me your phone, I'll take a picture of you in front of your new car. You'd say, yeah, for sure. So you'd stand in front of your car, the salesman steps back, takes a picture of you, the car, and all the branded background. And then hands you back the phone, and what do? You share it with everybody. And look at all the advertising that dealership got for free. Maybe social media can be for free, huh? A company that's doing this really well is Dollar Shave Club. Gentlemen in the room, you may have heard of this company. It's basically a subscription-based shaving supply company for men. So once a month, a box arrives with razors in it and shaving gel and all that other fun stuff. If you take a picture of the box when it arrives at your house, open it up, take a picture of it, and post it online. If you use a specific hashtag or their Twitter handle or their Facebook handle, they will send you a t-shirt. So for the cost of a $5 t-shirt, they could be potentially reaching tens of thousands of people. Now, they don't do any conventional advertising. And just so you know, last year, they were purchased by Unilever for $1 billion. Not bad. Not bad at all. Know your industry and know your customers. There's a lot of industries out there where people feel that they have to be serious. We have to be very serious. We're in a very serious industry and we're serious people. We have to be serious. We don't joke around. And then there's other industries where they're serious but they try to be funny. Let's add a human element to our business. Woo, even though we're divorce lawyers, let's put the fun in divorce. Right? These things usually don't work quite right. Right? It's important to understand your industry. A company that I think has this really, really bang on is Charmin. Charmin makes toilet paper. There's nothing serious about toilet paper. You can't even try to come up with something serious about toilet paper. And they're very aware of that. So one thing they like to do is have toilet paper riddles, which include such classics as, how did the toilet paper win so much money in Vegas? It was on a roll. I'm here all week, tried the veal. They understand what they need to say to their customers. They understand what their customers want to hear and how they're going to use the site. So I want you to know, at the end of the day, regardless of which of those 5 tips you use, one, all, or none, regardless of which road you try to go down or what you want to build, I want you to understand that social media is basically communicating. That's it at the end of the day. It doesn't matter what the platform is. It's about communication. And when you communicate in a way that is authentic, that's a reflection of your values as an individual, as a professional, and those of your company, your clients, your employers, it will come across in a way that people will respond to positively. So that when you choose to give out that proverbial box of brownies, they know why you're doing it. Because if they understand why you're doing something, they will trust you. And when your market and your customers trust you, that is the first step to you winning their hearts, their minds, and their dollars. And when all of that comes together, they will become more than friends. You guys are wonderful. Thank you.